Hi, welcome back to Our Hollywood. I'm Kim,
Everyone, I'm Daniel.
and this is the first time we're recording. Well, since the beginning.
Yeah, but we didn't have
Um,
microphones, so like there was a lack in quality. But now that since we have microphones, it's like period.
we love quality.
Yeah. Anyways,
Let's just intro this episode
should
because
I
it's the
hold mine
elephant in
too?
the room.
Hold on, I
Huh?
need to. Oh, just kidding. I was gonna hold my microphone, but it's like trapped. It's
Oh,
too
okay.
late now. This is it.
You
This is it. It is what it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
Um, so basically this episode is gonna be about Euphoria.
Mm.
Um, so many thoughts to be had about Euphoria, but we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
second. Let's talk about this movie that we both watched very
Okay.
recently.
It also just came out. This is very
It literally
fresh. No
just
pun
came out.
intended. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie that we're referring this is what we watched this week, by the way, in
Yeah.
case you didn't
In
catch
case
on
you're
to
new
that.
here.
Yeah, in case you're new here. Oh, also, if you are on Spotify, you can see us now,
Yeah.
because there's a Spotify video feature now, which is really fun. And if you're on Apple Music, make better choices. I don't know what to tell you. Um, so this movie that just came out on Hulu, I think it's like a Hulu exclusive, right? Like it's like a
So
Hulu
yeah, it's
original.
like a Hulu original.
Okay, it's called Fresh, and it's starring Sebastian Stan and I don't know the name of the actress. I should pull it up.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Period. Is she? Have you seen her in anything else?
She's in Normal People. Also something I realized after the fact, because if I don't really know who the actors are, because I haven't watched Normal People yet.
Mm-hmm.
But now I want to, because I want to know what the hype about both of these actors are. Since like people really do love them, and I can take a heartbreak show right now, so I might as well just watch it while I
Period.
can take it. So I looked up Daisy Edgar Jones, and you know how old she is?
Um, do I guess?
Yeah, guess.
22 through 4.
23. She's literally
Oh.
a couple months older than me, and that
Oh,
is
I hate.
insane. Like I feel like she seems so much older. I don't know.
She's good at. She's a great actress.
Yeah, she's a great
Actor.
actress for 23. I can
Yeah.
name a bunch of other actors that are 23 and like are okay actors that are in the business right now, but
Right.
she's like,
We're
oh,
about to
like,
get to that after the break.
well, yeah. But I just thought that was
Anyways,
crazy. Anyways,
yeah.
did you know about this movie beforehand, or like,
I
how did you
saw
figure out?
Okay, I saw like I got the wait. Also, they started marketing for this a week before it came out,
Yeah.
like literally just a week before. And so I started watching the trailer like on Instagram, but I don't like watching trailers in the square. It grosses me
Mm.
out. You know how like they do that now.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, I'll watch it later, and then I just forgot. And then you texted me and you were like, "Have you seen Fresh yet?" And I was like, I didn't even know it was out yet. And then I watched it.
I literally texted
Also,
you the day it came out. So,
yeah, I'm shocked that this is a movie you liked. TBH.
is a
I feel
movie
like
what?
that you enjoy. Like I feel like this would usually not be your cup of tea. Like if I had seen this, I don't know if I would have recommended it to you like
Really?
separately. Yeah.
Even with the ending, I feel like it's like a good
Oh,
girl
the
boss
girl boss
ending.
ending. It was a girl
Yeah.
boss ending. I felt the girl boss ending coming. I
Well,
felt the girl boss ending
yeah.
coming.
I felt
Let's
it
not
from the
spoil it.
beginning.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's a girl boss movie.
it's a girl boss movie, but not like disgustingly girl boss, I would
It's
say.
aware girl boss.
Yeah, like, okay,
Period.
I liked Promising Young Woman, but I feel like
That was a
people,
different kind of girl boss
it was
movie.
like that was like a different type of girl boss. Like, that was a little bit unhinged girl boss.
Yeah.
And this is more like kind of believable girl boss, I guess.
Okay.
Um, I don't want to
Oh
spoil
wait,
it
let's
because
just. Oh yeah, let's not even.
I can't
Because
even.
I
We can't
went.
even talk about the plot. I think it's better.
No.
Okay, skip ahead a little bit if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
haven't watched it yet,
Skip past the ad
because
break if you
I want
haven't
to
seen
talk
it.
about my favorite part
I
of.
I think it's gonna be the same thing that I'm thinking of.
Oh, really?
The one that
Okay,
I
so
texted you about.
no.
Okay,
Wait,
okay, okay, okay.
maybe I can't remember now.
Okay.
My favorite part about the movie, which I think made it the most realistic, and I was like, okay, yeah, great movie, is when at the end when the guy, the bartender guy comes and then he leaves
Oh,
and
that
he
was good.
doesn't save them at all.
That
And
was
I was
good.
like,
Wait,
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
hold on. Let's give a little brief synopsis without spoiling like the little twist. So
Hmm.
basically, it's like also I didn't know what this was about. So I was like watching it and I was like, is this a rom com? Like what's going on? But I knew it
Yeah.
was something spooky because the you can see the title and like the poster and whatever. But basically, it's about this girl and she is like dating. And she meets this guy in real life, not on like a dating app. So she's like, oh, this is like he's not like the other girls.
Hmm.
And so she starts pursuing the relationship more. And then also, I was texting Kim when I was watching this, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I can't believe she's making all these decisions. Like, these are so, why would you go on a trip with someone that you've barely even known? And then I texted
We
her, I was like,
both have done it.
we both have done all of these exact things. We would both be in this exact scenario.
Sorry, there's a big crash
Is
in my
everyone
apartment.
okay?
I think it's okay. Oh,
Okay.
she's hanging up this decor item right now.
Oh, period.
Um, okay, everything's fine. So, anyways, yeah, I really like that movie. I think okay, so how I found about it was I was watching Sebastian's like okay, so I watched like every single Hot Ones episode ever because I think it's so interesting because Sean Evans like actually asked really interesting questions.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know too much about Sebastian Stan. Like I'm not like a Bucky Stan. Like I mean he was good in I, Tonya, but like I wasn't a Sebastian Stan fangirl, you know?
Okay. Hmm.
And then I watched his interview and like I watched a couple more interviews about him and he's very like charming. He's a
Yeah.
very charming man and you can tell like he
Yeah.
actually cares and like is genuinely grateful to be like an actor and like
Yeah.
loves the craft, which I
Yeah.
feel like is especially with like younger actors nowadays, like it's kind of you can kind of tell who wants to be famous, like
Mm-hmm.
and like loves acting, of course, but like the fame is also like really a motivator for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he loves a little bit of like the stuff that comes with fame, but like it genuinely does seem like he really does love acting and like puts 100% of himself in it. And then Sean Evans asked him a question about playing like a killer or something, and I was like, what, what? And then he talked about it, and he was like, yeah, it's coming out or whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, what the fuck? I haven't even heard about this movie.
Yeah.
And that was like a month ago. And so I watched the trailer, and I was
Oh.
like, ooh, fun, because it's
Yeah.
like I am always looking for like a good thriller, like because
Okay.
I don't love horror, but I love a
Right.
good thrill. But also like the stakes weren't like super high for me, I guess. Like yes, I was
Okay.
nervous for her, but like I had a good feeling like she was smart. Like they kind of set it up in the
Yeah.
beginning that she was intelligent, you know?
Well, I was scared because I was like, okay, again, skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers. I was nervous because I was like, they're gonna chop off a body part, but the body part that they chopped off was so low stakes that, like, you
Yeah,
know,
like my friends are like, "Oh, that's so gross," and I'm like, she can get ass implants. Like it's fine.
yeah. Which,
Like
like,
it.
yeah, obviously, I don't want that to anyone.
Yeah.
Listen, would not want to be in this situation, obviously. So, but I thought he was gonna chop off a foot or a leg, and then she was
Yeah.
gonna have to try to escape with like a missing leg.
Yeah.
But then, and then also, okay, the friend, what?
Molly.
Yeah, did she get a body part chopped off? She
She
was
got
in the
her
surgery,
boobs
but
taken out.
oh, oh my god! And he made her eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I completely missed that.
Yeah. I
Oh,
didn't
that's
get that
gross.
either. My friend clarified for me.
Oh, period. Oh, okay. I like
um.
that then. That they didn't like explain it. It's like you
Yeah.
might get it on a rewatch. That's kind of fun. I
Yeah.
like when movies don't make us treat us like we're stupid.
Yeah. And it was giving me big like American Psycho energy.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I will say.
Okay.
I wasn't. I thought the ending. I feel like it fizzled out. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I
Wait.
thought the
By the
ending was
way,
kind of random. I thought that we were gonna get a little
yeah.
something extra, but like I was like, oh okay.
Well, because they tease so like they literally made the scope of this movie so big. They tease like the secret, like we see like this mysterious little like symbol, like a goat head symbol throughout the movie, and then
Mm.
we get cut. They cut back to this like the elite that are eating these people over and
Mm.
over. So I was like, here's what I thought was gonna happen. I thought because they also hint at the fact
You
that
thought
these
it was gonna be like a Get Out reveal?
N- mm, well, I thought the ending was gonna be a little more like ooh. Like I thought what was gonna happen was they were gonna get him and they were like gonna kill him, but then they were like, no, let's sell his meat to these people, but like poison it. So I thought they were gonna poison all these people. And I was like, period, that's gonna be the girl boss ending. And then that just didn't happen. Also, oh wait, never mind. That was it. I just thought they were
Um,
gonna have something to do with more because then after did you watch the credits?
no.
There's like this weird little animation of like those people sitting around a table and then the box closing.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, is that like a tease? Like, what are we?
interesting. Well, it's the director's first movie. So
That's very impressive.
that's impressive that she did that in her first movie, but that probably like gives like a little reasoning as to like why
Yeah.
maybe she did have like those scenes filmed, but like the
Oh, maybe
maybe like whoever is in charge of it was like,
Hulu,
no, you get this
Mr.
amount of
Hulu.
time. That's
I
it.
also I
Also,
loved the final shot. I thought that was so
okay,
funny. I was like, period.
it was funny. It thought it had a good amount of comedy in it, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I thought it was just campy. It's literally campy. That's
Oh
literally
yeah.
what it is. It's very campy.
Oh.
And also
Uh-huh.
something I was so irritated about was the beginning of the movie is almost verbatim something I've written for like a script that I've been writing for a minute. And I was
Like,
like,
is it a
well,
thriller or no? It's like
no,
a,
it's not a thriller at all, but like just like the introducing the character. I was like, oh,
okay.
okay. So I have to rewrite this now.
Oh, like the date with a man that's awful.
Yeah, like her like basically setting up like, oh, she's like it's a completely different movie, but like just setting up like, oh, she is looking for somebody
Okay.
on a dating app. But it
I
was
don't.
like
I think
almost
it's fine
shot for
because it's.
shot verbatim. But it's
Oh,
okay. I think
yeah.
I could do a little better to make it more sense for my film. Anyways, just something that I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I liked it.
I
I
liked
gave
it
it a
too.
5 out of 5 stars because of personal enjoyment.
Period.
Yeah.
I gave it. I don't remember. I think I did 4.5 out of 5, just
Mhm.
because I wanted a little bit more. It left
Yeah.
me a little bit unsatisfied, but I was like, honestly, like I'm not mad at it.
Maybe
I'm not
because
upset.
it was like a little like indie darling type of movie. They didn't give it like the amount of time it
Um,
deserved.
I also didn't. I don't like how they. The okay, so the ending when they're all escaping, I don't like how the final like set piece was in the woods. I wish it would have taken place in the house. I just
Yeah, the
that's more
house was so
interesting
sexy.
location. Yeah. And
When
then
they
when they
go in
go
the
outside,
house,
it's
I was
all
like,
ugly and
ooh.
dark. Yeah. And they end up at this random farm. I was like, I wish they would have kept that final sequence in the
Yeah,
house.
where the hell was the farm? Because it was in the house. Like
I don't
you,
know.
they were in the house and then they got outside. And I was like, why is there a barn? What is going
I
on?
literally don't
The
know.
logistics of the house make no sense.
And also, they okay, so they again, spoiler alert. This is like the final moments. They kill the guy's wife.
Yeah.
Where's
I
the
thought she
security
was.
guard?
I was so upset. I thought she was gonna like be on their side.
Okay, yeah, I thought so too, but also I get that it's supposed to be like, oh, sometimes it's like okay, the whole movie is like
Stockholm
commentary.
syndrome.
Yeah, but also I think the whole movie is like commentary on like men having agency over women's bodies and like that's like what it's trying to get at, right?
Yeah.
And so also the whole thing about like that like little detail at the end is supposed to I think be a reference to women who sometimes are like apologists for men who do bad things,
That's a
right?
good
But
point.
also she's
But
like
also, why did they show that moment of her being in the shower? You
with
know?
the with miss with a missing. I just got a list
Yeah,
out of
when they
nowhere.
revealed that she was a
Yeah,
victim as well.
I don't know.
I just want to like I'm sure maybe the director did like a Q&A and the screenwriter
Oh, maybe
maybe
she
if
should come
not
on.
we
Did she say that she doesn't have that many followers on Instagram?
no she had no the director only has like 8K on
I think
Instagram.
we should ask her to be on the
I'm gonna
pod.
look up the screenwriter too.
Period. Oh my god, that'd be
See,
so
we
good.
just
I have so
DM
many
them
questions.
questions. We're like, hey,
We're like, hey, do
just some
you want to
thoughts.
come on our Zoom podcast? I feel like everyone loves doing Zoom podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
We'll see.
It
Stay
doesn't hurt.
tuned.
And another thing that I did yesterday was I went to the Santa Barbara Film Festival.
Oh, period.
And who was there? Simon Rex was there, which is who I was really excited to see, who was in
Mhm.
Red Rocket. Alana Hayam was there from Licorice Pizza. Ariana DeBose from West Side
Oh, I
Story.
love her.
Troy, I forget his last name. Troy and Amelia from Coda, which I need to watch. I think I'm going to do
Mhm.
that today. And then frick, the girl who plays Venus and King Richard, and then two people from Belfast. One of the girls is from Outlander. Forget her name. I think it's Catherine or something. And then Kieran, I believe, is the other guy's name, and he plays Pops in Belfast. I
Okay.
think that's everybody. I believe I got everybody.
Okay,
That was
period.
nice that I did that off of memory because
Yeah.
normally I would not be able to do that. Um, but I was like, I only went because I loved Ariana, Alana, and Simon. I was just really excited. I haven't seen Belfast or Coda
Hmm.
or King Richard, so I was like, oh, like, I mean, it's fine. Like, so basically, what Virtuosos event is
Hmm.
at Santa Barbara Film Festival is like up and coming people. Like, they just had their like breakout type of moment
Okay.
in a film. And also, Jamie Dornan was supposed to be there, but he um has literally just went to go start filming something, so that's unfortunate. Um, but he sent this like really kind video, and it seemed like he was actually upset that he couldn't go, probably because like two other people from his cast were there, and he was. It seemed like they
Mm-hmm.
all really like cared about that film,
Hmm.
so I think I'm gonna watch that too because like normally I don't love like period dramas very much, but like because of like the answers that the actors gave and like it just seemed like an extremely personal like passion sort of project that also is getting nominated for an Oscar. So that seems cool. But so basically what they do is like they interview every single person and at the end they do like a little group interview
Hmm.
and it's just like really fun. It's like my favorite thing to do. I think what I'm trying to get at for this is like you never know what like San Diego has a film festival, like a lot of random places have little film festivals. I mean,
Hmm.
Santa Barbara Film Festival is like pretty a big deal. Like they get
Yeah.
like pretty much like every single like if for the Oscars, like they get every single director that was nominated to like do a panel and like they have the connections because they're doing it for so long. But like if you're in like a city like I don't know, Seattle, like wherever you are, like or like you're near a big city, you should look if they have a film festival because I mean I feel like it could be like a really good inspiration because
Yeah.
that's why I like going to the events like that because it just makes me like excited. Also, Simon Rex, oh, so attractive, so attractive. Gosh, I was talking to my one of my friends that I went with, and I was like
Uh-huh.
Simon Rex, and like because I also have this huge crush on Johnny Knoxville, and I'm like they're in the
Okay.
same category for me, like same like type of energy. I don't know.
And what would you describe this energy as?
Um, older comedian that seems like kind of like an asshole, but they also are nice.
Mhm.
I don't know what
That's
that one's about.
yeah, I don't know either. And that's a little that one's a little okay.
Let's
Anyways,
judge me in the comments.
yeah, comment down below what you guys think about that.
Psychoanalyze me in the comments, please.
Anyways, so we're gonna go to the ad break real quick and then we'll be back with Euphoria. That's that and that's where we cut. That's where we cut. We're back from the
Woo!
same ad that we've been playing for like 2 years.
I know we need to record it. I like sound. We sound so. It was like
Bored.
baby. It was like baby
Yeah,
podcast.
that's funny. Yeah, we should
It's so
record it
jarring to go from us like now because also like
with
our voices have
microphones.
changed a little bit. Yeah, like we were literally just talking to an iPhone. Yeah, we need to re-record it at some point.
Yeah.
I was thinking that
Anyways,
one time when I was listening to it. Anyways,
okay, how do we
so
start?
what?
No, where do we begin?
Um. So what did you just think overall of season 2 and season 1? What are your thoughts? Because they're very different. So
Well, I'll start with this. When I was listening, I listened back to like some of the things that we were talking, like you know how we've talked about Euphoria before, like
mhm.
multiple times, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, I think
We were guessing it up so hard.
yes, but also when we were like, oh, it's like I don't know. I think our what we would said about it before. No, but it's because season one was good.
Season one is good
Yeah,
and will
and I
always be
just
good.
period. Season two, I don't even know where to be. I truly don't even know.
They just did too much, I feel
You know
like.
what? Overall, I'm gonna say I had a fun time watching, and I had a fun time liking tweets about it. And that's what I will say. Although I will say that I was so annoyed because I literally deleted TikTok because of how annoying people were about Euphoria. That I was like,
I
need to delete this app from my phone, and I will come back 3 weeks after the show has ended, and it's been cleared out because I was just not having it.
That's the thing I was gonna say. I think if TikTok wasn't so, and I'm not saying people shouldn't like give their thoughts about a show.
Hmm.
Obviously, we are literally doing that right now.
Yeah,
But I think TikTok is like a very specific echo chamber that like if someone brings up maybe a theory that they have and a group of people like it or agree with it, then that becomes the narrative of the story
yeah.
when I'm like we haven't even got to that point. And I do think um well, because like last episode I was like I don't want to talk about Euphoria until it's done.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I think sometimes with shows, okay, this is what I think we talked about this, but like Pretty Little Liars, that makes sense to theorize and have
Yeah.
conspiracy theories over it.
Yeah.
But Euphoria, yes, it's a little bit of a fantasy here and there, but like because of like Cat's like little, what's it called,
Well, they all have like
daydreams and
fantasies, but it's not
yeah,
like it's not a
it's just
mystery.
a daydream.
Yeah.
It's not like medieval times or whatever the fuck. Like, it's so yeah, for Pretty Little Lies, it makes sense to have conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But Euphoria is supposed to be like a quote unquote like real type of show. So it doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense to theorize about these people's like motivations. You're kind of just supposed to, in my opinion, I think you're just supposed to take it at face value, whatever they're telling you.
It's just some of the theories I was just like, are we watching the same? Some people were like, Elliot is the third Nate Jacob sibling. Elliot is
Mm-hmm.
working with this lady secretly. He's the one we saw over here. Um, just the most insane theories I've ever like. There was one where they were like, oh, there was that clip of Kat and the guy driving in a car, and they were like, that's
Mm-hmm.
hinting that they're gonna get in a car crash and die in the season finale. I was like, are we making things up?
Where are you getting that from?
Did you watch the Snyder cut of the show that I missed out on? Like, where are you getting these things from? And I just
Yeah, I feel like if yeah,
baffled.
so basically what I'm saying is like I feel like if TikTok wasn't so loud about
Yeah,
everything, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more. I mean, I still enjoyed it because I do
yeah,
genuinely still love the show, like despite its flaws and like I mean issues I have with it. But that's everything. Like what our new mantra
yeah.
is
We
literally
have
like
fun.
you can still like something but also
Yeah,
hate parts of it. That's
yeah.
literally life. So it's like
Period.
but it is one of the better TV shows that I do think is interesting and are like tackling topics that
Yeah,
not a lot of people do. And like also the argument that was like at the beginning is like nobody goes through this. I'm like, girl, go to the rich suburbs
yeah.
or like upper middle class suburbs. That shit is happening.
Okay, you know what we could do? Let's do like those things they do when people are in a fight. Let's do like compliments. Let's give the show. Let's start with the positives that we like about Euphoria, because I have a couple. There are
Yeah,
some good
yeah.
things.
There's always going to be
Um,
positive to it.
and then we can get into like the behind the scenes because the tea,
Hmm.
that the drama. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna start with the cinematography. I should look up who I forgot to look up who the cinematographer was. Go off.
Yeah.
Some of the cinematography in the show, I literally like my jaw would drop. I'd be like, that is such a good shot. My favorite one of the entire season is I think it's like second or third episode. And it's like a montage of Cassie and Nate when they're like first starting their little romance. And she's like running towards the car, or like it's in slow motion, and
Hmm.
you watch her through the like the mirror on the side, and
Oh
she's like
yeah.
lit up and it's slow motion, then she opens. That was so good.
So
That was
good. Yeah,
so
the
good.
cinematography popped off.
They know how
Um
to frame that white, they like all the shots that Cassie's in, so good. Like the one with the flowers. Um, and I also really liked the little after show they did, the little 5 minute behind the
Oh
scenes that they
yeah,
do at the end of each one. That was fun. I'm
they
glad
did
they
that
did
last
that.
season.
I did not watch a single one. I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
did
the
that
credits
last
were just
season.
30 minutes long.
Um, going off of cinematography, like
Yeah,
I know that I said it's like very different. I do think the cinematography has like, okay, what is going on?
I don't hear
There's like
anything.
a fucking fire truck now.
Oh,
Like
period.
I swear to God,
LA
it's like
baby.
it's never okay. It's never like quiet or never loud until I need to like record something. Like I
Uh-huh.
swear to God. Anyways, like I do think the cinematography does have like a big tone shift on the show because
From
like
season one.
the first season like it was very like swoopy and like you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like swoopy and like there was like a lot of like up in the air and like extravagant like big wide things, but I do think this season there was a lot more closer takes on like their faces, you know, there's a lot more
Mm-hmm.
close-ups this season.
Yeah,
I saw a
yeah,
lot more pores. I saw a lot more
yeah.
detail in
Yeah, yeah,
people's
yeah, yeah.
faces
Yeah.
and it felt more intimate in a way.
I
And I
agree.
do think that follows with like the storylines that they did try to focus on. It was way more intimate. Wherefore obviously season ones are always gonna be more like big picture, like just getting a grasp of like what these characters are.
Mhm.
Another thing I love is Labyrinth. I think he's
Oh my god, he's one of the
so
best
good.
parts of the entire show.
Yeah,
I
he's
joke if
really
he
good.
wasn't involved, I don't even know if it would be as big as it is. Truly.
Oh, I think Sam Levinson knows that.
Okay, period.
100%. I love the songs that they chose to end out the episodes. And one of my favorite scenes in the entire season was when Rue took like her big hit of drugs and then went to that like halfway world, like when she got high, like and it
Like
was
the
the church,
church?
the
Oh
church,
yeah.
and that was like Sam Levinson at the end described it as like kind of like yeah the halfway between like life and death
Yeah.
and like that's where because that's where she can like see her dad and
Yeah.
like stuff like that and
Also, and then when it cuts to her standing in the room alone, that was chilling.
uh
That was so good. I
yep
loved that.
it
Because it
was
was
like
also like reminiscent a little bit of the Haunting of Hill House when they do that too, like where they cut between this like fantastical, like ideal realm where they're with
mhm.
their loved ones, and then it cut back to like the real world and they're alone and it's like cold and it's, oh, period. Go off.
Yeah, it was so good and like I was so emotional about it. I just thought it
Mhm.
was so beautiful and like having him I don't know his voice is like extremely like emotional. I don't know
Yeah.
how to explain it other than that. But like and like when they were like
Passionate.
hugging and like I don't know. Maybe it's like
Oh, Zendaya also.
yeah. Zendaya was like hugging him and like
Yeah.
her face like while she was hugging him. I don't know. I just thought that I think it was episode 4. I want to say it was episode 4 that
It
that
was because it was
happened.
right before the big
Yeah,
episode.
that was my favorite episode. I
The
think.
one, the fourth one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it felt
Um.
like the most focused episode, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. Also, okay,
So,
is that the one
yeah.
where we get the little like dream sequence where it's like cutting between all the characters in like a little, it's also almost in a portrait way. Do you
I
know what I'm
believe
talking
so.
about?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I
Okay.
believe so.
So I had seen, okay, before this, like maybe episodes one or two, someone leaked the plot of the entire season. And I wasn't that invested yet, so I just read it,
I
right?
read it too
And I
because
was
I'm
like, whatever.
forgetful and I won't remember. I
So I just
was like,
read
this is
it.
very low stakes for me to read right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And a lot of it came true, except now that we've seen the whole season, we know that the season finale doesn't really follow what the leaks had. However, the
What was that?
it was like oh Elliot was gonna overdose and all this other stuff.
Oh
But
yeah.
if you look at the that those like sequences, like the portrait sequences where it's like cutting between characters and where
Hmm.
they're at in the moment, the leak follows that pretty much because we see Elliot, the Elliot's like little clip. He's in the church that Rue was in.
Mm-hmm.
earlier.
And it was
So there,
empty.
yeah, and so I was like, oh my god, they're hinting at like the fact that he's gonna die, or maybe it was just a hinting at the fact that like he was also an addict and but he's alone as opposed to like, but also
Yeah.
he wasn't doing the drugs when we see that one scene where he like goes into the bathroom but wipes the drugs away and doesn't take them.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Elliot as a character, I just
So like how I interpret that and like
mhm.
how it ended for Elliot, he because of his little song that was very controversial,
Oh
which we'll
my
get to.
god, yeah, we'll get to
Um,
that.
but that song was talking about how he has no friends.
Yeah.
And like especially because Rue doesn't really want to be friends with him anymore. He really has nobody. Wherefore,
Mhm.
as Rue does have people that do care about her
Yeah.
and care about her getting sober, I think that's why her church was full as
Mhm.
opposed to his being empty because he's
Period.
very lonely. He doesn't have anybody,
Yeah.
which is why I'm like, yes, is he a male manipulator? Of course. But he doesn't have anybody as well. And I do think
Yeah.
that's another issue I have with everybody's like takes on the show is like there doesn't have to be a fucking villain every
No, no,
fucking
no, no.
show.
Yeah.
Like there are good qualities and bad qualities to everybody in the show and everybody in life. If you looked at every
Period.
single
Yeah.
like I was trying to explain this to my friend, I was like, if you look at every single person's life, at some point they're gonna be a quote unquote villain to you.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
love
that's
that.
just how it is. Like, and I don't think that's fair of anybody to like I mean, I don't think that's fair of anybody to like judge anybody's life just like because another thing is like some people are gonna love you, some people are gonna hate you. It just depends on like the interactions that you have with it, and it's
Yeah.
just like I don't think it's. I mean, Nate is pretty fucking bad, but like,
Oh my god. Once
but
we
you
get
know
to
what
the
I mean.
characters,
You
yeah.
get what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well,
Like
yeah.
Cassie, I guess is like a good example of it. Like, and also, okay, the Cassie
For
versus
yeah.
Maddie thing. I know we're
Oh
gonna
my
get. Let
god.
me just do this, and we can get back onto like the positive things.
Okay,
But
okay.
like
Well, I'm
people
almost done.
obviously were like Team Maddie this season.
Right.
Obviously, what Cassie did is wrong, but also like I don't think it's fair for people to completely ignore all the bad things that Maddie did in the first season. Like she literally put a guy in jail
Hmm.
for Nate. You know, like
Well, but yeah,
but
yeah,
also
yeah,
like I love Maddie. Like it doesn't mean I don't love her, but like also we're just I mean, obviously people are just gonna focus what's on in front of their fucking face.
yeah.
Like so I
Did
don't
you
know.
see that when they were doing an interview? Someone involved in the production of Euphoria, I don't remember who it was, but they were saying how Zendaya said to them once that there's two Euphorias, the one that you're seeing on TV and the one that's on TikTok. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like they're
I agree.
watching two completely different shows.
Yeah.
And so the whole Team Maddie versus Team Cassie thing, I'm like, at the end of
I
the
don't
day,
think
these
that
are
was the
both two
point of that
teenage girls.
storyline.
Yeah, none at all. Especially because Maddie has done some really awful things, and like
Yeah.
just because in this specific season, and it's been so long since season one came out that like
Mhm.
I don't even remember what was happening in season one. That like it's easy to forget
Mhm.
the positions that these two characters were in the
Yeah.
season before.
And
So all we remember is
I'm
that.
not a Cassie defender. What she did was fucking
Oh
bad.
no 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 no.
She you like Cassie had a lot more background in the first season that I think people forgot for this season. That
Yeah
I do think gives more context to her decisions
yeah.
and her sad decisions at that. Like but it makes sense, you know, why
Yeah.
she's doing what she's doing with Nate. I mean, I don't know if Nate had to be the person that she did it with, but
Oh, well, here's some other here's some other tea about that. Originally, it was supposed to be Jules and Nate.
yeah, yeah, I read that.
So
Which I
I
would
don't
have
know how
hated
that
more,
I
honestly.
would have hated more. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know if this whole Nate with the person that does I don't know about that whole storyline. I don't know about it.
Something that I think Euphoria lacks is clarity and like kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
period.
Period. And
That's
that's
it.
it. Thanks for coming, guys.
Because okay, I guess like what I'm thinking is like other shows that I've heard about, the creators kind of like have a end point to where they want these characters to be, you know? So that's kind of how they have the A plot, they have the B plot, and they're kind of filling it in between how many seasons they get of the show, you know? But I don't know 100%. I mean, I don't know Sam Levinson, so I can't like corroborate this, but I don't know if he has a solid B point for
I don't think
any of
so.
these characters. So I
Well,
think
I
that's
think
another reason why sometimes the storylines can come across messy.
yeah, and I think because also he's referred to the character of Rue, like he says that he relates to the character a lot. So I think he's kind
Mhm.
of projecting his life story through Rue, probably.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know a lot anything about like his story, but I
Well,
think
Zendaya says that. She's like that's why
mhm,
I feel comfortable portraying Rue because I know it's based a lot in his experiences.
yeah. Well, I think also because of that, when you're telling a story that you're in, like that you see yourself in as a writer or creator or whatever, you can easily get lost in that. And then it becomes more about you than like this actual story. And then you forget about all these other, you're like, oh, I also was supposed to write about all this other stuff. And we've seen like, we've had a lot of people speak out about, the production of Euphoria and how messy it is. And that
Mhm.
like,
Wait, before you get too far off that
yeah.
note, I literally saw this TikTok this morning and it said people like Sam Levinson and Minnie Kaling make it very obvious that they use their own shows as their own personal fanfic, but I can't even be mad because if someone gave me $1 million on a platform, I would do the same thing.
Oh,
I was like,
absolutely.
yeah,
A
yeah.
100,000%.
And these two people I do admire. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. No, I'm not even mad about it because like I agree.
no.
But I think also like one of the most like impactful things that I learned when I like was in my one of my screenwriting classes was like even when you're writing about yourself, it's not about you. Like you have
Mm,
to like at some point you have to like separate yourself from that character or the
yeah,
story is going to suffer because of it.
yeah.
Um
And I do think that's hard for
oh,
some. I mean,
absolutely.
I think about it like if I was in their shoes, yeah, it'd be hard to like be like, well, because the first season was so well received, you know, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay, now like you finally feel like people creatively get you.
Mhm.
So you're like, I can do this and like people will understand it. But then also you have like the studio, you have like other things, you have like production, you have so many things like getting in the middle of it. And I mean, that's why I'm like, some of the Sam Levinson hate is like warranted, but also like
Yeah.
he is a person at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
we don't know whole lot about him. So I do think it. I don't think it's fair for people to like make these astute assumptions of him and like saying some gnarly shit about him
Oh,
that has nothing to
yeah.
do with Euphoria. Like I don't even want to get into the gnarly shit that I've seen, but like
Mhm.
I'm just like, what does this have to do with him being a writer and creator of Euphoria? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair to bring up personal things that
Right.
he hasn't talked about himself,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know?
Well, before we get into the like storylines that we wanted to get into, I do think it's important to briefly mention like these are still teenagers in the show, and there's a lot of gratuitous nudity that I'm just like, I want at some point I do think it's too much
Yeah.
because they're supposed to be teenagers. Like there was one there's in the first episode when it's Nate and Cassie in the bathroom, and there's literally like a
Him
long
putting his fucking mouth on her boobie. I
and
was
it's
like,
yeah. And it's like it's focused on that for like a lot. It's cut back between Maddie outside the door and Nate right in front of Cassie's breasts for like
it was jarring.
I was like, oh my god, we couldn't have had a face to face conversation. He had to be down there. He had to be down there for that conversation. I was like, oh my god. So I do get the complaints about that. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Like if they were adults or whatever, like it would be different. But
Yeah.
because they are teenagers, it does feel a little bit icky. I get that.
And I don't think it changes you know, I don't think it would have changed the impact that the show would have had if it was a little
No.
less nude.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I don't think so either.
yeah.
There's like, I don't know if classy is the right word, but there's like classier ways to do it, I guess. I
That
don't
makes sense, yeah.
know. For me, it doesn't bother me that much because like I don't really, it doesn't, I do think sometimes people have a hard time not sexualizing things. And like, yes, they
Mhm.
are in a scene, but like it doesn't mean you have to like be like, whoa, because I don't think that's like, I don't know if sex positive is the right way to, but yeah, like it's not like a very sex positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the added layer that these are supposed to be teenagers,
Yeah.
so
I
it's
mean,
like
at
there
least
is
it's
no right
50.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
at least it's like right after that, Cassie seen full penis out of a random person.
yeah. At least we
So
see
at least
penis
it's
as well.
50-50. Yeah. At least they're evening it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Which is, yeah, that's unheard of. Like usually it's only women
Yeah.
having nudity scenes. So at least I'll give him credit for that. I'll give him credit for that.
Oh my god.
So
Anyways,
many
okay,
penises.
so many, a lot. And I remember when the season was being filmed, people on like TikTok were being like, "Oh, I just got like a casting call for Euphoria, but I have to be okay with full frontal nudity." Did you ever see TikToks like
I
that?
did see that, but also the dicks that they did use are fake
Yeah,
because that's too intimate. But showing women's breasts as regular breasts is fine.
yeah.
Whatever, whatever. Double
Anyways,
standards.
yeah. Okay, so okay, so do you want to move on to the storylines that we
Yeah. So let's just go. Should we go like
let's just
my
say them
like?
and then let's discuss.
Okay, let's do Cat first.
What storyline? What
The lack
storyline
of
is there to
story. Yeah, I was
discuss?
like the lack of
I
storyline. Okay, so I'm taking this extremely personally. This is the one character
Yeah.
that like was my comfort character in a way
Mhm.
because like yes, I love Lexi and I do see aspects of myself in Lexi, but Kat, like Lexi still has like cis white pretty girl
Girl boss.
privilege. You know, like
Yeah.
where for as Kat is like, yeah, she's like lighter skinned, but like she's still plus size, and that was kind of a main storyline in the first season,
Yeah.
which I really enjoyed because I actually saw myself represented like kind of like in a not sexually, but like, you know, like my thoughts about sexuality
Yeah.
I'd never seen on the screen and portrayed. And Kat was the first person that like, I mean, not everything I like I had experience with the same Miss Kat, but like certain aspects of it, I was like, oh my God, like, wow, like finally we're talking about it a little bit. And
Yeah.
like, I do think maybe, I mean, Sam Levinson isn't going to hear this, but even though you have beef with Barbie, if you do, like,
Yeah.
that it is really important for plus size people to
Yeah.
like have a storyline. And it just made me so sad to see. I mean, from the trailer, I kind of gathered that she was in the first episode. I gathered that she was gonna like self sabotage her relationship with Ethan, and that made me really fucking sad because like
Yeah.
I you never see a plus size person in like a healthy relationship,
Hmm.
you know? And I was like, Ethan, and what they did to Ethan this season, like, yes, he got his comeuppance at the end with like the play, but like him like not defending Barbie on his parents, like, I don't think Ethan would not do that based off what
Yeah.
we saw in season one. Like,
No.
he was very assuring to her
Hmm.
and like really tried to like comfort her like worries in the first season. So the fact that he just kind of like came off as like this like hands-off dude in the second season, I was like, oh my God, like, can we have nothing for the plus size woman?
Yeah, it
Like,
was weird.
what is going on?
It almost felt like instead of in season one, it felt like the characters were informing like the decisions and what happened in the show. Whereas
Mhm.
with this one, it felt like the plot was what was driving. They're like, well, we need this to happen in the story, so this character is going to do this, even if it's completely out of character, with like a
Yeah.
bunch of them. And
And
yeah,
I'm not saying Kat wouldn't have like issues with Ethan because
yeah,
like it's her first like real sort of relationship, and she is still balancing like finding her sexuality, like maybe kink wise or whatever she's on, and like vocalizing that to Ethan or whatever. But like I just feel like there was such a bigger chance to expand on plus size and
yeah,
sexuality, and it just was diminished to literally nothing, and that just makes me sad. But
yeah.
it
It was
also
so
makes me
sad.
happy that I could be one of those people that does do it,
Period.
not correctly because there is no correct way to do it, but at least
Yeah.
give some more insight into it.
Hmm.
So that's how I'm going to frame it in my head to make me less upset about it.
Period. Yeah, I think like that one scene with Barbie, I mean Kat in like the second episode where it's like the influencers, and it's like this
That was
toxic.
so good.
That was one of my favorite scenes of the entire season, and then we just get nothing for the rest of the season.
After episode 5, it was just kind of like, what? What?
That one, okay, I think like episode 5 or 6 where it was like Nate and Cassie like montage where they were like, oh my god, they were talking like a Tumblr post, and then in between that, there's cuts of Cat in like the cat uniform for no
Hmm.
reason.
That was
For
in the
no
last
reason.
episode.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I was just like,
Yeah, I
hello?
was like, what does this have to do with what's going on right now?
I don't
Because it
know.
didn't even address any of the camming situation at all.
No, they were just like, by the way, she's still doing that. In case you
Yeah.
forgot. That's what it
Yeah, I
was.
think that's what it was. They were like, oh shit, we didn't address this at all. We
And they were
gotta.
just like, we don't know where else to put it, so let's just do something artsy and say
Hmm. And then
that
like
that's what it is.
let people like sit with that for the
Yeah.
next 2 years.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
So like I
Oh my
totally,
god.
if Barbie does have issues, like it's absolutely warranted, I believe,
Oh
in my
yeah.
opinion. But I do hope that she does come back because what she is doing is important. And I know she's active on TikTok. So if we clip this, Miss Barbie, please
Barbie, come on the podcast, please.
Barbie.
I would love
Barbie,
that.
please. I love
But
you.
yeah, I think Kat is a much needed presence on Euphoria, and you
Yeah.
could tell that it was lacking her
But
this season.
nobody was talking about the nuance that she's plus size. Like that was
No,
not a
no,
part of
no.
anybody's
Well,
dialogue.
because I think people who aren't plus sized are they were like, I don't want to say it to not offend people, but I'm like, that's not it's not fat is not a bad word.
Yeah.
That's something that we need to discuss because it was that was part of why her character was so important and that why people were
Yeah.
so excited to see her on screen in this kind of storyline about sexuality or whatever. Which is so
Yeah.
sad that they just didn't. I don't know.
And like the whole scene of like the breakup scene, I was like, I am so uncomfortable. I'm
I
so
know.
upset. And it just seemed so fucking random. Like I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like,
It felt like they did genuinely have a storyline filmed, and then they were just like, since we can't film the final parts of the storyline, we're just gonna
mhm.
pick and choose what
There's
we're
a
gonna actually
girly on
show.
TikTok who was Kat's body double, and then she kind of confirmed that there were many more scenes of Kat's character, but they didn't make it into the show.
That's so
Sure.
makes me so sad.
Nice. Good one.
And it definitely wasn't cut for time because like they could just do whatever they want on HBO. They could have a 30-minute episode and a 1 hour 30 episode the next week, and that's
Yeah.
just how it goes. That's just how
Okay,
the cookie
also something
crumbles.
that I sent you was that each episode took between 10 to 15 million dollars to make,
Oh,
which is absolutely insane. For context, Red Rocket, which is a movie with the Simon Rex guy that I was talking about
yeah.
earlier, cost $1 million to make.
In that one TikTok you sent me, also to put into perspective, the final season of Game of Thrones, every
Hmm.
episode was also 15 million. That show has dragons. That show has CGI dragons and period piece clothing. Euphoria has like
I know they get their
Gucci
clothes on loan
outfits.
too, 100%.
I just it baffled because I get okay addressing the film. It does give it a look that it's an artistic choice, but also it's part of the Euphoria brand.
But like,
Like
did they
I get
need to
it.
call Kodak and
That is
make them
so
resurrect a old film? Did they have to do that? No.
no.
I don't know too much about film, so maybe I should just shut up and not talk about this. But like,
No, we don't shut up. That's why we have a podcast. So no, say what you need to say.
there's so many other like film, like Christopher Nolan, for example, will only exclusively shoot on film. Or
Yeah,
was it Christopher Nolan?
I don't know.
One of those
So many,
directors,
so
one
many of
of those
them.
men, like can will only exclusively film.
Don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it was Christopher Nolan. Um, on film, and I don't like.
Film
Did
is
he?
pretty. Okay, I do get it because film is pretty, and like there's a
But there's
reason for
so
the
many
hype.
different types of film. Did we need to resurrect the old one
The most expensive one, the
ever?
most, and obviously because after the like acclaim of season one and like how
Yeah,
successful season two went, HBO Max is gonna give him whatever he wants,
yeah, and
whatever
Drake.
he wants. Yeah, and Drake.
Like for
Well, okay,
sure.
yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
I
so that was
wonder
Cat.
how if it Drake how much money Drake makes off of Euphoria.
Ooh, that's a good
That's a good
question.
question.
Hmm.
Drake?
I am curious about that too. And also Zendaya, because she's an executive producer too now, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
So
another thing is like I do trust Zendaya
I
with
trust
like
her
a
too.
little bit for no reason. I've never met the actually no, I've never met her, but I've been in very close proximity to her
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the
That's
at the
enough.
Visible Flea. So I would trust her with my life, is what I'm
I would too. I would
I would
too.
I honestly yeah, like her and Lucy Liu for some reason, like if I needed for some reason for a celebrity to make a decision, like a life and death decision, I feel like I would trust either of those women to make that decision. I
Okay.
don't know why, just my intuition.
Okay.
Um but I again like I do feel like she's smart. Like Virgo women are probably some of the smartest people on this planet. And I do believe that if she's working with Sam Levinson in that close of a capacity, like, sh you know, like
She
she
knows something
has,
we don't. She
yeah,
has to
she
know
does.
something.
That exactly. She
Like
probably
they
has
just have.
way more intimate conversation with him than we will ever. So I don't know. I trust
Um.
India.
Yeah. Okay. So I pulled up a list of characters because I didn't want to forget um any because there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on. Um. Do we want to address? Actually, let's go in order of characters who were ignored. Jules, and also almost had no storyline this season. But I guess that kind of goes with Elliot. We can kind of combine those two. Um, so yeah, Jules and Elliot.
I thought that was more. I thought I wish we got more conversations as to why, or like maybe a conversation with her dad, because her dad, sleeper character, sleeper character. Her dad is like a voice of reason,
Yeah,
and I thought it would be, especially with like everything that kind of happened. Like, I think it would be interesting to see her and her dad's relationship, maybe like them opening up a little bit more about her relationship so he could like understand it better. And like, I just wish we had more insight into like what her not conflict, but like why Elliot is so interesting to her in kind of like the same way that
yeah.
Rue is interesting to her. Um, but I don't know. I like Jules. Everybody hates Jules. I love her.
People, because people again, people on TikTok, people on Twitter, they don't understand the nuances of like being a human being, and they think one bad thing means oh that's a bad character. And so when there's like a character that does something, and also these are teenagers, everyone close your eyes, flashback to when you were a teenager. I know you sucked. I know you sucked because I did. Everyone I know sucked when they were a teenager because that's just life. And so, and again, these suck just a little bit more because obviously it's a TV show. They have to elevate the drama and the stakes. But I don't know. Again, like we said this before, but Rue and Jules should not be together. I think we've
Oh
talked
my
about that
god.
before.
And I hope because of like what happened in the season finale, they fucking. This is how I want it to happen.
Okay.
Don't think it's gonna happen. This is how I want it to happen. Because Rue said goodbye to Jules, and
Yeah.
like kind of had the clarity that like yeah she is technically my first love, but I don't even know if that was actual love. It was an
Yeah.
extremely mature thought
Period.
for Miss Rue to
Yeah.
have, and I'm so proud of her. But I hope that she actually carries that thought through season 3. And I want, because it happens in high school, like you get extremely close to some people one year, the next school
Yeah.
year wouldn't even
Who
know a
is that?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, who is that person?
Yeah.
And so what I want is for Jules and Kat and Maddie to form a little friend group, and I want to
Mm.
see them hang out together.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah.
I
There was
want
like
her to figure her shit out by herself.
yeah, there was brief moments of like the friendship between these characters. Very brief. I mean, like 30 seconds, like every other episode. But they were some of the best scenes of the show because we haven't seen these characters interact a whole lot. And I wish they would have cut a little bit of the Cassie and Nate thing just to get a little bit more of that because Cassie and Nate got so much this season, and it was the same thing over and over. We weren't getting any new information. We weren't getting any new like. There was no developments. They were just still doing the same thing over and over.
They were just being talked like every episode.
Oh my
And I
god.
want Maddie and Jules to kind of talk more about their relationship with Nate
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit more. because I mean, Maddie obviously
Yeah.
knows what Cassie's or Nate's dad did to her, but she
Yeah.
doesn't know what Nate did to her.
Yeah. But yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so if Jules buddies up with Kat and then just ends up buddying up with Maddie next season, like it could be interesting conversation to be had. Especially because
Mhm.
season one, a lot of like Maddie's struggle is like, is Nate gay or is he cheating on me? Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll get to Nate because I have some things to say about Nate too. But just to
And also,
wrap up.
like, I wish they would address Jules' transition a little bit more because in the little like in between
Mhm.
season, she said she wanted to get off tea, and I
Oh,
do
I
think
didn't know.
that that's an interesting conversation because about gender. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
think maybe Sam Levinson didn't feel like informed enough, but Hunter did like help write that episode so it
Yeah.
could be like another opportunity for Hunter to come step in and also like be a better, be more of a representation for trans women on the screen because
Yeah.
I do think there is like a misconceived notion that like if you're a trans woman you have to be on estrogen and you
Yeah.
have to be presenting feminine and X, Y, and Z. But if you feel like a woman, you're a woman, and it doesn't matter if you have access to estrogen. It doesn't matter how you choose to present yourself. Like if you feel like a woman, you are a woman, and that's what
Hmm.
it is. Like, and I do think that was a missed opportunity to talk about because I thought that was really interesting in that whole episode with Jules made me love her so much more
Yeah.
because you actually got to sit down and like have a whole hour to get inside of her mind. And
Mhm.
I don't know like majority people like unless you're a trans woman you have no idea. And also like not all trans women think the same. Obviously not all people think the same, so it's just interesting to get another point of view from like a trans woman when I don't know anybody personally that's a trans woman. So
Mhm.
it was just I think when you have like the second most popular show on HBO, like
Yeah.
that's a the cultural impact that you're having. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's do more powerful things than giving two white people to like 10 episodes or 8 episodes to be toxic the whole time.
Yeah. It yeah.
I
That
know.
Nate and Cassie storyline could have had stuff cut. But just to wrap up Elliot a little bit, I think a
I didn't
little
realize we were talking about Elliot. I thought we were talking about Jules.
no, both of them.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that summed up perfectly what I thought about Jules. Like I am just sad that we didn't get that
We
much
love
about
Jules on this
her. We
podcast.
do. We do. We understand that people have flaws and that doesn't mean she's a bad person because of it. Anyways, like I okay, so yeah, she cheated on Rue with Elliot for some
Do you think
reason.
Rue knows? I don't think she does.
I don't think she does it. I don't think they're gonna make it a thing. Like I don't think
I don't think she has to know.
no, and I don't I hope that doesn't become the storyline next season because I will be like it's just it doesn't matter at this point. She's made peace with what happened with she's like it's time for me and I'm very happy about that. So I hope they don't make it like this big like oh we have a secret. I'll be like oh my god that'd be so exhausting. Um but yeah about Elliot I just feel like he was so his character it wasn't like I texted you this earlier but I was like he wasn't really a character he was like the suggestion of a character. He was
Yeah.
the afterthought
And
of a character.
context, we were Dominic Stan fans before like
Oh
he was on
yeah.
Euphoria. Like we both love his music. So like when he got casted, we were
Absolutely.
like, ooh, but also, oh.
Look, do you want to? Well, I was gonna turn the camera. I have a little, whatever. It's too much work. There's a signed Dominic Fike vinyl right above my computer. Like we love Dominic.
Yeah.
Um, they gave his character nothing to do. I still don't even know if he's really a good actor or not because we got nothing out of this character. Like I couldn't really. There was they, there was like maybe 4 conversations that really were like showcasing if he could act or not. And from what I saw, I did an okay job, but I wasn't enough for me to. I was like, I don't know. And okay, the song, everyone knows the song. We all know the song. Great song.
It was too
I
long in my personal opinion
I just think it
in the context of
wasn't
the show.
Yeah. But I also think it just wasn't placed in the right spot. If this had been like sort of because after how many episodes was it? 8?
Uh-huh.
Okay. If so, episode 7 is kind of where stuff starts to go off the rails, like in terms of the other characters, because we see the Rue situation happen a little bit earlier. But if Elliot's song had sort of been the like the capstone to the piece of the earlier episodes, and like it's like his song, and we're like that's like quote unquote the last moment of peace, and then stuff starts going off the rails with Lexi's play with
Hmm.
Fez and Ash. I think that would have been a great moment because we would have had a moment to slow down before stuff ramped up. But to
Yeah.
put that in between one of the most anticipated fights of the season between Maddie and Cassie and a police raid, and to just be like, let's pause all of that and give you a 4-minute song. It was just such like the pacing was so
Yeah,
bad.
I think that's why like a lot of people didn't like it
Yeah,
because of where it was placed because
yeah,
there was so much more like I hate to say it, but interesting things going on.
There was.
And it kind of took away the power of the song because it is a very beautiful
It's
song
a
and
great song.
like it gave so much context to where his headspace is as a character.
Yeah.
And also like did you see Dominic Fite's Instagram story the day
Mhm.
after? He's like,
All the
damn.
tweets about it where people were like, wait, my favorite one was like it said like Rue going to see Elliot or whatever, and it said Elliot. Oh no, Rue said like she didn't want him to talk or something. And then it was that clip of Ariana Grande victorious.
He
And I was like,
didn't
she
say
did
I
say it.
couldn't see.
That one, that's so
That's the
funny.
best one, 100%.
But yeah, but also if anyone has ever been in the situation where someone's like, let me sing you a little song, and you're just standing there, Zendaya did a great job of that because it is just as awful. And yes, it does feel like 10 years is going on.
Yeah.
Especially because, and Rue was lucky because the Elliot song was actually good. I've been in this
Yeah.
situation where the song was not good. And
Somebody
then
has sang you a song.
yes, I've been in this exact scenario. Well, like where like guitar and they're like, and it's a full song from start to finish with bridge and everything, and they're like, it's not finished. I'm like, I don't think you should finish it.
I
We'll
can't
talk
believe that's
later.
actually happened to you like in real
It's
life.
happened to me multiple times, but to be fair, I did put myself in this situation. Like always. I'll tell you after.
No, oh wait, I kind of have been in a
You
similar
do,
situation
yeah.
as well, but it wasn't like guitar situation. It was like he was trying to play me like his song before it came out, and it
Oh,
was
that's
like
even
even
worse.
more awkward because he wasn't consumed with playing the fucking guitar. He
But
was
then
just
also like
staring at me for my reaction the whole time.
ew. No, but also like what are you supposed to do?
I
Like
was just like,
what do you want me to do? Just stand
yeah.
there? Like I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm like
Oh, I
this.
blocked that memory out of my head.
Because it's yeah. So in terms of like, I don't know. I get what people
Poor
were saying.
Elliot.
But he said he
I'm
didn't
an
need.
Elliot apologist. Sorry about it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. Because he did give Rue the drugs and like
I'm like 75% joking. I don't think
okay.
he deserved as much hate as he got
Mhm.
because we have still have Mr. Nate on the show, but
Yeah.
like
I also think he just was introduced to all these people. He doesn't know
he doesn't know
like
the
what
context.
he doesn't know what's going on. He just got here.
Exactly.
So he didn't know what like the effects that him providing Rue with these
Yeah, and
not
people
a bad
like
thing, but like
on Twitter, on TikTok, were just like projecting so many things on him. I was like, honest to God, I've met so many of these boys because Elliot is like kind of like my type in real life, and they don't think that hard. I swear to God,
they
they
don't think
don't
that
think that
hard.
hard
Which in that
about their
case, I guess he
motivation.
portrayed that really well.
Yeah,
There's just nothing going
I
on.
do think Dominic Fike is like that to a certain degree in real life.
And they flirt with literally everyone, which
Yeah,
also
they're
represented very
man
well.
whores, and they don't have any regard, which is like
Period.
whatever. That's your prerogative, I guess. You could grow up and do
Yeah.
anything, but
Go
like,
off. What were we
anyways,
talking about? Elliot. That's all I have to say.
yeah.
I
I
hope
mean,
I hope we get a little bit more of him in season 2 because or season 3 because I love Dominic Fike. But if they're just gonna do nothing with his character, then there's no point. Then his
yeah,
story can be here. But they're not going to because everyone loved him. So now they're gonna be like, let's bring him back.
yeah, because that's what happened with Fez.
Oh, should we?
Put
Okay,
anybody on that fucking show, and people are gonna love them. Like Chloe Cherry's character, Faye. Like she wasn't. I'm sure she wasn't supposed to be a fan favorite, but
uh-huh.
everyone fucking loves her.
but also because like at least her character had implications on the story and on the plot,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the last episode, where it was like you see this character that you think is going to have no impact on the story, but then in the last episode she does, which
You
I
know,
thought was
people still
great.
think that she's a secret cop. And I'm like, are you fucking joking me? Did you see that theory? No,
Oh, I
because you
did.
were on
No,
TikTok.
I
Okay.
saw a theory on Twitter that they were that she was working with the lady Lori or whatever.
Yeah, people still think that. People think she's working with Ori, or
No,
they think that she's still a
it's
cop.
not
And I'm like,
that deep.
it. Do you really think that this girlie who got introduced shooting drugs into her thigh?
Yeah.
I don't think no,
There's
and
there's
that's fine. She
I
was
think
still a great
yeah,
character regardless.
her arc for this season, even as a minor character, was just the fact that she was like, I'm gonna do the right thing this little one time. And
Yeah,
period. Go off. I liked it. It
yeah.
was enough. Because I like when minor characters have
It
little
was
stories.
enough.
It was
Period.
enough. Because some of them didn't get any more than that.
Yeah,
Okay, Fez, Ash, and let's talk about Fez and Ashtray first before Lexi.
yeah.
What'd you think?
What did I think? I don't know. I mean, obviously, Ashtray's story is very tragic.
Yeah.
Um, but the fact that people still think he's alive, I'm like, ladies, the red dot was
Oh
on his forehead,
my
and then it
god.
cut away, and we heard the
Did they
gunshot.
want to see the dead body of a child? Is that what that
Yeah,
was?
they're like, we didn't see
It's
the
because
body. He's not dead.
no,
I'm like,
people are still traumatized from Pretty Little Liars. Because even when we saw Mona's dead body in that trunk, she came back. So I
yeah.
don't. People are
Pretty
still
Little Liars
traumatized from
doesn't
that.
play by the same rules as
No, no, not
anything.
at all. Um,
Um,
but I
but
honestly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I like the backstory. I like that we started off the
Yeah.
season with Fez's backstory. I think it
Yeah.
helps a lot. Um, I think Fez is such an I think he's one of the most interesting characters.
I
Like
think so
having a
too.
drug dealer but actually being like a good person. Like that is a very big conflict for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I do think that's another thing that I commend on the show is like again, like having like all these people like have a good quality juxtaposed with bad qualities because
Yeah.
that's just how life is. And I mean I think yeah, I think Fez is interesting. I mean, we still didn't get that much though.
But I think again, like since they were juggling so many characters, I do think the Fez and Ash storyline was one of the most well, actually, I don't even know. I was gonna say it was one of the most planned out. But
At
then
the end, at the end when they were doing the shootout and they panned to the grandma, I was like, I forgot she
I
was in there.
I was like, who is that? Who is that? What's going on? Like they were just like, by the way, she's still here. Just so you know.
Yeah, because we definitely all forgot.
Yeah, 100. Well, I mean, it didn't really have much to do with her, but
Yeah.
um yeah, I like how we started the season with that backstory and then ended it with that. I think that
Yeah,
worked
that
very
made
well.
sense.
Yeah, that was one of the I think better written parts of the season. But
Mhm.
also I saw that they were saying that the actor who plays Ashley was saying that Fez was actually supposed to die in that
I
finale.
think Angus Cloud said that too as
Yeah.
well.
And then literally the day before they were gonna shoot it, they rewrote it and were like, actually, Ashley's gonna die instead. Which honestly, I think that makes a little bit more sense for the plot and would make because it would
And it could have such big implications to how Fez is in the next season.
yeah, it's gonna move the story forward a little bit more than if Fez's death would have been a little bit more just for shock, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have I don't know. I think the Ashley death would have worked a little
What
better.
do you think about Fez and Lexi?
Okay, I'll say this. I love the edits of them with the Taylor Swift song. Gracie will send me them all the time, and I love those edits. I post them on Instagram. I think they're so good. However, I don't see this working because Lexi, well, number one, he's older. And we don't know how older. They left that ambiguous on purpose because it's a little questionable, but
Yeah, it's a great
um
area.
yeah, they were just like, don't think about it too hard. So we're just gonna skip over that only because we have no confirmation of how old he is because they keep changing it. So I don't even know. Um, but I just don't think this is gonna. I don't see this working because Lexi is a character that has like she sees everything as kind of like how we do, where everything is a TV show, everything is a movie, everyone has story arcs, there's like plots, and like she has like this idea of like a fairy tale in her head. She wants to like run and kiss Fez in the rain, and that's never gonna happen with him.
No.
And I don't think he
And
even wants that.
like I love Fez, don't get me wrong, but like this man is not thinking very hard about what he says, because that's
No.
just how his character is. He
Yeah.
just says he says, and that's just how it is. But and what he means is face value, where for as Lexi does infantilize everything, and like the whole, and like that's where I see myself in Lexi is like
Mhm.
I do take some things that people say and I like project my own thoughts onto them,
Yeah. Me
and
too.
then I make up this like grand, like these feelings that maybe this person doesn't have for me.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying
you like
like, I mean, I'm not
visualize
saying
this
that Fez
entire.
doesn't have feelings for
Yeah.
Lexi. I do think he may, but it's obvious that she likes him more than
Oh yeah.
he likes her. And like that might
100%.
be like a controversial statement for people to hear. But also like this is the first guy that's kind of expressed further interest in Lexi that we've seen. And also it's I would say like this is her first time like having like a longer term crush.
Yeah.
That's like actually reciprocated in a way.
Well, I do think um
I think also I'm just traumatized because I've had like situations like this with men before, and then like it just
and their
ends up
house
being
also got
they're
raided
not.
by police and you were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, what do I do
and
now?"
yeah, and then I had to visit him in jail and
Yeah.
like all these crazy things.
Right,
It
right.
just didn't work out, so I'm just looking out for
Uh-huh.
Lexi.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What was I gonna say? Oh, I do think, well, because Fez is more like a little like ooh doo doo, so I do
Yeah,
think the way he shows it is different, but I do think he likes her because of the tiny little moments we get where he's like with Faye and he's like, do I look nice, and
that
just
was
little
really
things like
cute.
that. The card,
Yeah.
we still don't know what the card says. That could reveal a lot next season if he wrote like something inside. um
But do you
so
think
I
it was that like deep and insightful? Do you really think
No,
that?
it was probably like good luck on the play,
Yeah.
shoddy.
I'm so proud of you, Shoddy.
Yeah, shoddy. I
um
don't know. I'm interested to see where that goes, and I think everyone else is too. That's definitely gonna
yeah,
go.
but I think some people are too invested in it.
Also, is he gonna go to prison? I don't like.
Okay,
I
you
think
want
they
to hear
wrote
my
themselves
theory?
into a corner with this. Yeah, go ahead.
So my theory is that Faye, because I mean, she's smart. Like she, like said the about Lori. So I think
Yeah.
maybe that's like Lori
Oh.
will kind of get taken care of, and Rue will get out of that situation. And then I think that she might say that Custer killed Mouse and
Oh,
Ashtray
okay.
did, and then Ashtray killed
Killed.
Custer. And also I
Mm.
love in the little like enter Euphoria thing that Chloe Cherry was like, yeah, Custer's a bitch. I was like, love that. I love her so much.
um,
Um
that does make a
but
lot of sense.
I think it's really, I don't know.
Well,
The whole
another
mouse
thing
situation I feel like was so interesting.
it was, and also I think Lori was so interesting because I was like, oh, we're getting a villain.
Well, we'll get there with Rue.
Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, that's all I had to say about Fez and Ash. Obviously, Ash is dead, guys. Let's move on. Like, come on, guys. He got cast in Umbrella Academy. Good for him, the
Yeah.
actor. So
And he said that the actor said that he wanted to focus on boxing. It's crazy that he's 15 years old.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
wild.
Um, Maddie. Which okay, I don't even. What was going on with that whole babysitting plotline? Because there was like weird little details that I was like,
So the big thing with people that were like, but we, because I was like watching TikToks, obviously, because it just happens, and people were like, but what about the hidden camera? And I was like, that literally got solved, guys. Are you
oh
watching the
really?
show? So what happened was, is like the camera.
Uh huh.
Obviously, she's extremely rich, so
Yeah, yeah,
obviously all of her valuables are
yeah.
in her fucking closet. So she's
Oh
gonna have
yeah,
a camera in there. And I
yeah.
don't think it's because like yeah, there was like weird sexual tension between them for some reason. Um but um it was just because this woman's rich and like that's her life is her clothes. So she's gonna have a camera in
But
there. And
also,
so she saw Maddie put on that purple dress,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's how she knew that Maddie wanted the dress and gave it to her as a gift.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the closure you got with the fucking camera, guys. I
Yeah,
was
and she goes, she's like, how do you, or what did she say? She's like, I just had a feeling you'd like it. And
yeah.
Maddie doesn't even blink. I'm like, are we, hello?
She's like, oh my god,
Um,
she sees that. I probably told her that my favorite color is purple.
yeah, I think it was just, I don't know. There was, did feel, I got like sinister feelings from that woman. Like, I was like, ooh, she's up to no good. But also, like, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere else with the storyline.
One theory I would love to see or like hear a little bit more about that I was like, ooh, that kind of be fun,
Mhm.
would be that I'm just gonna say Minka Kelly because I don't remember her character's name.
Okay, that's fair.
Minka Kelly, and because she said that she was the Cassie in a situation, and I would love to.
Mhm.
And then people are saying that Cassie's mom was like the Maddie in the situation, and I kind of like
Mm.
if they were like friends or in college or they went to high school or whatever. I think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. That's like that's not too far of a stretch. I think that would
Yeah,
be a fun
yeah,
little plot
and
line.
it doesn't need to be a big deal. Like it could be
No,
like
no,
a one episode, like 2-3 minute scene, and that could
yeah,
be it. But also I'm not in love with the theory, so like it doesn't really matter to me if it happens or
yeah.
not.
I don't. It's like whatever.
Yeah, but I thought it
Um,
was like fun. I was like, that'd be cool.
yeah, but I did like in terms of well, because that was I think one of the big things that Manny had going on, and then the
Got to
other
see her be
thing,
more calm this season, which I appreciate.
yeah, we did. She's still okay. This is something that like they briefly mentioned it like during that episode, but then like people kind of forgot about it. Where Maddie's character always says the R word last season, and she did it this season too. And I'm
I like
like,
that Kat called her out on it though. She's like, Maddie, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think you're
yeah.
supposed to say that.
And it's like I get that some people were like, but that's how those girls in high school are. I'm like, okay, but this is a TV show, and there's police raids in the suburb. Like, we don't need that. We don't need that. It's not necessary for realism because I don't think that's what they're going for anyway. So I don't know. I just hope if she says it in the third season,
Did she say the F word too? No, that was
probably.
somebody else.
Oh, who said it?
Not on
Wait,
this
to
season. I think I'm thinking of a TikTok now. I like
oh,
saw I saw a TikTok of the yeah, it was a TikTok. It was like these two girlies and it was like an audio. No, it was from Euphoria.
mhm.
But I think it was I think it was Jules that said it. The F slur.
To Nate.
Someone said it on Euphoria, the F
Someone
slur.
did say it on Euphoria because I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember if it was like it was their word to say.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that was like an audio on TikTok and these two girlies like said it and people were like, you're not supposed to say that word. So that's what that I mentioned that because like maybe some people see Maddie saying the R word and think it's okay for them to say.
Oh
Even
yeah.
though Kat was like, I don't think you're supposed to say that because people obviously don't pay attention.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. But
I
yeah.
love the hot tub scene.
Oh, that was so good.
That was good.
That whole sequence is
Um,
great.
I mean, like, I like Maddie, but she's not one of my favorite characters, so I don't really have too much to say about it.
Yeah,
Ugh,
me either.
sorry. Don't hate me
That's
for
okay.
that. But obviously we all know who I identify with. I
Yeah.
already said it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I don't. Yeah.
one of
Okay.
my favorite acting moments for Alexa Demi this season was, um, in the last episode when it was like in the play, like, and it showed like a moment between Massey and Cassie, and then like the play versions of them. And Cassie
Mhm.
was like, "It's okay, like my parents fought too." And like Maddie's character started crying, and then like
Mhm.
it cut to Cassie walking in after like
Oh yeah.
he found out. I was like, and she's like, "I would have never done this to you."
Yeah.
And like that little thing, I was like, "Ooh."
Oh, when she's in the bathroom, she's like, Cassie, open the
Mhm.
door, and
Yeah.
Cassie not open the
I was like,
door. That
come
was
on,
good.
range. Let's see the
Yeah,
range.
range, but also
Because
we
we
love a
don't get
little
to see
parallel.
her like express sadness very often because she is
No.
such a bad bitch character. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really humanizing for her and something like we needed to see.
Yeah, I liked it too. Good. Yeah, good for. I would say I'm satisfied with.
And yeah, I'm satisfied with Maddie's especially because and then at the very end after they like fight at the play, And then she's like icing her foot with the Coca-Cola can. And Cassie's like, you know, the funniest thing is that he broke up with me before whatever the fuck I went on that stage.
Yeah.
And then Maddie, like, it was obvious that Cassie wanted them to like comfort her, which I
Yeah.
don't know why the fuck Cassie thought that was
Because
the room to say that
Cassie is
in order for
Cassie.
comfort.
Yeah.
But we all know Cassie's not the brightest.
And we all know a
And
Cassie.
then
We all know a
yeah,
Cassie.
we all know a Cassie. And Maddie was like, and like it's just the beginning. And
That
I was
was
like,
so the way she delivered that, I was like,
yeah, because her face was like, you fucking dumb bitch.
I
But
loved
like in
it.
like a classy, like, and also kind of sad for her because it was her best friend. I was like, there were so many emotions in that one line.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I think if they wrapped up anybody's arc the best this season, it would have to be like Maddie and Rue.
I absolutely agree. I think they might be the only ones that got wrapped up, other than like the Cal situation, which.
But that wasn't like, that was still weird.
Did you see what he said on the actor
No.
on Twitter?
Eric?
Okay, well, not on Twitter, but like they were doing an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, we're getting a redemption for Cal next season." I was
I
like,
thought the
nobody wants
redemption was
that.
this season, quote unquote.
No, I don't know. That's what he said. I
But
don't.
how are
I'm
you
just.
going to get redemption behind bars, sir?
I don't. Him and Fez are gonna be roommates, and we're gonna
He
get a
kills
prison
Nate.
storyline. Oh my god.
I don't
I
even want to really. Should we talk about Cal?
no.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
There's so much. There's so many more like intelligent takes on it on TikTok. Just go look at that.
And I feel like it was it's been talked about enough. I don't think
I don't
just
think I
even
have
want to talk
anything to
about
add
it.
to that conversation. And also,
I don't
like,
either.
I mean, I do think that scene was beautiful, though. Like, despite like what Cal ended up being, like,
The
I do
flashback?
think, yeah, the flashback scene. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was like really interesting. And like because you don't really normally in media you don't really see two masculine presenting gay people
Yeah.
together.
I did see some people complaining. They were like, "Oh, I don't think we need this person's like backstory or whatever." But I actually
I
like
think
when
we do.
yeah, I like when they give the quote unquote villain characters a backstory because it's
Mhm.
like obviously you see that you're not gonna be like, "Oh." Like it's still sad and tragic that this happened, but
But I think that's
his
what people
choices were made.
thought
Yeah,
because
no, no,
people were
no.
so mad after that, and I was like, I
Yeah.
don't think it was supposed to be like, see, now he's a good person. I
It
don't
was
think
just
that was it. Is I
context.
think it, yeah, it was just context to like how
Yeah.
he ended up and like again showing the nuances of people and
Yeah.
like how they got to where they are.
Yeah. He's still us. We saw that. We saw that.
Yeah. So Cassie, I guess.
Okay. This turned
You
into the Cassie
dumb
show.
fucking bitch.
I just think I think Sam Levinson loves Sydney Sweeney. And I think America
I
loves
think
Sydney Sweeney. I think
everyone
she's
loves
great.
Cindy Sweeney.
I think she's great. I just don't I wish they would have done one other thing if we were gonna see her this much. Because
Mhm.
having every single one of her scenes be about the
Having
Nate
her be
situation.
reduced to like Nate's plaything is just like really sad. Especially like, I mean, damn, she cannot get a fucking break on that goddamn
No,
show.
she can't. No,
Season
she
one, she
can't.
was down to horrendous too.
Yeah.
So it's just like I think that's why people are like, oh, Cassie.
And
Like,
my favorite scenes with Sydney Sweeney at like playing Cassie are not when she's with Nate, but when she's interacting with her mom or her sister. Because
yeah.
that's when you see like where her head's at, where like even that flashback where Lexi doesn't want to get in the car with the dad because
Mhm.
he's drunk. And Lexi's like, or Cassie's like, well, we don't want to make him feel bad. I'm like, that little scene right there tells you so much about um that character and why she's making these decisions, why she's even in this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
So I just wish we would have subtracted a little bit of time from a little
Yeah, and
montage of Nate
seeing
and
their
Cassie because
dynamic more, like between
yeah,
Lexi and Cassie, I think could have helped both their storylines and aspects of like Lexi's play and also why Cassie feels like she needs to give everything to Nate because she doesn't feel
yeah,
like she has anything with her family.
yeah. And also, okay, I will say when in the last episode when Cassie walks up to the stage, I was like, I know we're gonna get a I'm the villain monologue. Like I felt it. As soon as she started talking, I was like, okay, come on, I'm the villain monologue. And then she fully just said it. And I
It's
was
so
like,
funny
oh,
how
we're
she
not
like.
subtle.
I noticed a trend in like how she delivers her line. Like sometimes she'll like start off really loud and then like end up in a whisper.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did that so much,
Yeah,
and
she
like I'm not
does.
complaining, but I just it was just something that I noticed she does that was
Yeah.
funny.
It's like when Kerry Washington, like when she delivers her line with like her like sometimes with her teeth out. It's like
Yeah,
that kind of thing. It's just like a little detail that you notice an actor does a lot.
yeah. It's just a choice that they like feel
Yeah.
like it's a choice.
I don't know, but it's just that whole scene. I thought it was so cheesy, but I it still worked. I love an
It's
I'm the
fine.
villain
It's
monologue.
so be it.
Yeah, I kind of I love those kind of monologues. So
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I think it's funny.
That
And then
whole
when
sequence was
like when
ridiculous.
they start doing the merry-go-round scene and her scream, I was like, it was
That's
funny.
good. Also, how did Lexi know about that? Also, okay, well, never mind. I'll talk about it when we get to Lexi because I don't.
Well, because
Anyways,
Lexi's an observer, she's just in the shadows and she's
yeah,
Gossip Girl.
yeah,
Lexi is Gossip Girl.
yeah,
I don't.
absolutely.
Again, like I feel like Cassie has been like torn to shreds.
Hello? Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's kind of obvious where we stand about her. Like, I hope Girly gets it the fuck together.
Yeah, I think if anyone deserves a redemption arc on this show, it's Cassie. I don't think
And
I
I
want
think it
one
could
from.
be really impactful for the pygmy girls of the world. I'm just kidding. But like, you know, there are people that maybe identify with Cassie. And I do think that's why I don't love shitting on Cassie
Yeah,
every fucking week, because there are girlies like Cassie and you're kind of just like in a way slut shaming them and
yeah,
shaming them for like their traumas in a weird twisted way. And like imagine like feeling like you finally see yourself with Cassie and like like seeing everybody shit on you and being like she's fucking X, Y, and Z, and you're like,
yeah,
ooh.
yeah.
Because again, like Cassie's not a terrible person. She
Mhm.
just deals with her traumas in like a different way than
Yeah,
other people. And I do empathize with her, like, girly, I hope you get out of that situation. That fucking sucks.
yeah, yeah,
And I do, because we all do know a Cassie, and because we all know a Cassie, we want them to be better.
yeah.
So
No,
we
yeah.
want Cassie to be better, and I hope
Period.
we do see her be better in
Yeah,
season 3.
yeah.
Dear
I
God,
hope so.
please, if you do
Yeah.
anything, Sam Levinson, please let Cassie be better.
Oh my god. Um. Yeah.
Let's
Period.
see, I
Yeah, that summed it
guess.
up. Lexi. Okay. So I remember in season one there was a lot. Well, there wasn't even a lot. There was just little bits here and there about Rue and Lexi and that friendship, and that was to me one of the most interesting parts. And when the show kind of goes back to that towards the end, I think it's like some of the best content that Euphoria gives us. But yeah, I love the relationship between Rue and Lexi, and I think that should be at the heart of Euphoria a little bit more than some of the other stuff we
I
get.
think it will be. I think especially
Period.
since Rue kind of closed the door on Jules and also Elliot, and like she told Lexi that the play was good, and I think that was a huge thing because Rue never reaches out to anybody.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think the fact that Rue like congratulated Lexi on the play, and like kind of realized like it kind of clicked for her seeing her life on the play, like being like, yeah, Lexi was there for me, and like she is a
yeah,
good friend. And I do think it could help both of them to like lean on each other when they find out what happened to Fez, because they
yeah,
are
yeah,
the
yeah.
two closest characters to Fez in the show.
Mhm.
Um, Lexi, I mean, Lexi was like the star of the season, I think. So,
Oh yeah, it was
like the
great.
fan favorite. So,
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
there's no real complaints with her storyline.
No,
It's
I loved
just,
it.
yeah.
And I
So,
love that little because we don't really get to see Lexi's point of view that much. So I love the little fantasy where she was like the director and they cut to it like if it's a behind the scenes. I thought that was great. I
yeah,
liked
and
it.
like seeing her point of view of like Cassie's point of like in conjunction, like because we saw Cassie's storyline, but
Yeah.
Lexi was also there, and we saw
Yeah.
Lexi's point of view from that same event in their lives. And also just like seeing the parallels of how both of them dealt with their father leaving, you know.
Yeah, okay,
um
because um Rue and well, I think what Rue finally realized is that like what she had in common with like Elliot was just drugs. That was it. But
mhm.
what she has in common with Lexi is much more personal and emotional. I think that's what she's like, let me go over here.
Especially because I think she finally figured out, Ruth finally accepted that her dad's death did really fucking affect her, like very
Yeah.
deeply. And that's kind of like the trauma that she needs to like, grief that she needs to like really tackle. And I mean, Lexi's dad, did he die? Or he's just
They said he
gone?
left. Yeah, they said he just left.
Yeah, so basically he's dead to them.
Mhm.
So I do think that Lexi is a good friend to have in her corner while she like really does accept her grief.
Period.
And you know, I think they're good for each other,
I
genuinely. I
think so
didn't think
too.
that first season, obviously, because Rue wasn't in the place, but the fact that, I mean, now we're just talking about Rue. I mean, I think it's important to talk about them in conjunction because I do
Yeah.
think that they're going to be the forefront of season 3.
Yeah.
And like I'm really proud of Rue for all the growth she did,
Yeah.
because it got really bad in the middle.
Yeah, it did.
It got really fucking bad. And I'm glad that Rue hit rock bottom, and like the whole Lori thing and her realizing like, oh shit, like I could have been human trafficked. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that shit was scary.
That oh my god.
Lori is terrifying
Yeah.
because it's like same inflection in her voice when she's talking about anything.
Yeah. I love
And
that
it's just,
character. I hope they bring it back. I really do
I
because that's
don't.
no, because it's a good character. Like they did. I feel like we didn't get out full. Well, because they kept teasing, oh, what's behind the door, and I do think people blew it out of proportion. Like what is
Yeah.
behind the door? I think it's just supposed to be like we don't know what's behind the door. We just know it's something scary. Um, I just don't think that storyline is fully wrapped up yet because Rue does still owe her money. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm scared. I just
Well,
don't want to
yeah,
see it.
she's scary, and obviously we don't want to see Rue hurt, but like she
Yeah.
was a
And
good
yeah,
villain.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways, that's all I
but
have to say
yeah,
about
like
it.
also like yeah, what you were saying, like Rue and Lexi's little conversation in the last episode when they were talking, like Lexi was just validating how she felt,
Yeah.
and being like, and like really didn't hold a grudge against her, which I feel like, I mean, her relationship with Jules is different, but like Jules is very selfish as a person.
Yeah.
Like she is, and like that's
Yeah.
okay. But I feel like in the way that Lexi validated her feelings and didn't project her own like emotions and like maybe ill feelings that she had towards Rue with how she treated her,
Yeah.
Jules kind of always did.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's good more for Rue to like focus on friendship at this time. Because that's the whole thing
Yeah.
with addiction. Like people are like, do not get in fucking relationships when you're like just figuring out your addiction. Like,
Mhm.
don't do it. Like that's like kind of like the first, like one of the first things they tell you.
Yeah.
Um, so I think Rue will. I really hope that she like doesn't instigate anything with Jules again. Like I would love to see them be friends at some point in
Yeah.
season 3, but I don't want to see them interact like the first half of
Well,
this.
I would like if for season 3, maybe the whole season, and then tease it at the end, if they just kept them separate and they
Mm-hmm.
had a Jewel storyline and a Rue storyline and they don't intersect, and then at the end they have a little scene together where they're like,
Yeah,
maybe we
because
could.
they both have so much growth to do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I want to see both of them be better,
Period.
obviously. So, and I think that they can do that. They just need to be separate. And I think that could be a good way to frame season 3.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Oh, God, I hope so.
I'm glad we're on the same page about that because I
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
exact thought. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys have any things that you want to see in season 3, like leave us a comment,
Oh, please.
like,
Yeah. I would love to see that.
and because we would love to like hear it. But like things that aren't like super conspiracy theory based, like just like
Oh, yeah.
what you want like your favorite character to achieve in season 3. Like keep it light, keep it positive, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because I think this season was just really fucking dark.
It was. Yeah. But, oh, yeah. Well, to wrap things up, Rue. I think we kind of
Yeah.
talked a lot about that already, but 10 out of 10. I love how they dealt with her storyline this season
Mm-hmm.
because it's like about Rue. The show is about Rue. She is um the like protagonist of the show. She's the one who narrates everything. The show
Mm-hmm.
is about her, and I think sometimes it lost that a little bit in like the earlier episodes. And I was like, I don't care about Nate and Cassie. And then it would go back to Rue, and then we got like so much Rue content in the second half of the season.
I'm so excited to see because I think they kind of pitched it up that like we're gonna see more of their relationship and like seeing her build a back her relationship with her mom and her sister
Yeah,
next
yeah,
season. Like I think that could be like really helpful to show
I
like
hope so.
addicts that there is like because I bet you it feels like you just burnt all your bridges and no one can ever love you because
Mhm.
of what you did to them. But I mean, people are so complicated like and obviously like your family hopefully is there for you and like accepts you and I think Rue's family has kind of like showed to her like we are here for you and like we want to see you succeed and I hope that
Yeah,
she like really fixes those relationships.
yeah, and I
I want to
also
see
I
a Gia stop crying in
oh
season
my
3.
god, please, please let her be okay.
Leave Gia
But then
alone.
yeah, I also hope we see more of Rue and Ali. And
Mm-hmm.
that's so good. I love seeing those characters interact. I really liked the scene where he like goes to her house and
Mm-hmm.
interacts with her mom and Gia because now he can kind of see both of their perspectives. He can see where Rue's coming from, but he can also see where the mom's coming from. So I
Yeah.
think he brings a new kind of ideology to help Gia and the mom with. And I think that was very helpful for both of them. So I love that, and I hope we see more of him. But yeah.
I don't want them to like make Ollie and her mom date though.
Oh no 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 no
I think
no.
people really want that to happen. I'm like, you know, you can just say someone's attractive and not like date them after. You know that, right,
That
guys?
would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, and I think it
But
would
it would. I feel like
maybe
that's what we're gonna get.
later down the line once Rue is like actually okay,
Yeah.
I would be okay with it, but like not in the middle of her like still figuring it out.
Or maybe even like when the show was ending, like literally
Yeah,
series finale, like the mom and
10
him
years later.
have a little look, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, is this gonna go somewhere? And then we never find out, but like maybe because he is
yeah,
like a father figure to Rue. Um, I don't.
yeah.
I
Like
just
once Gia and Rue are like out of the house and like functioning adults,
yeah.
you know.
Because right now, that is not a storyline we need right now. Please, please, please,
Yeah,
please. Did we cover everything?
I think so.
I guess Nate, but I don't.
Oh my god, we literally I did not even mean that intentionally. Guys, we don't need to talk about Nate. Do we need to talk about Nate? I don't think so.
We can just say, well, I just,
I genuinely like that was like completely genuinely. I did not mean to like.
I just don't like Nate, and I don't like his character. I just don't care about Nate. I'm like, I want so much less of Nate. I'm so sorry. To wait, does anyone care? Do people like Nate? I don't even know what's going on. What is the
I don't
social
know.
commentary
What's
on
the
Nate?
room temp? What's the room temp on Nate?
Because I know people like looking at Jacob Elordi. I get it, but also
I guess.
I'm so over that character, and like I feel like this is a good way to if he wants to leave the show. I don't, he's not going to because the bag is probably really big. But
But I think he needs the cat treatment next season.
oh please, oh my god, I would love that. That's not gonna happen,
I
but I
mean,
would love that.
not as exaggerated because I still do kind of like want Nate to learn something
Yeah.
that's not chaotic. Oh, also fuck him for traumatizing Maddie like that.
Oh
I will
my
say that
god.
there was no reason for a gun to be brought into that situation. And then
No,
him to be like, I was just joking.
I hate him.
I
I
was
really
like,
hate his character.
yeah, I think that's why I'm like done. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit. Like, I
And
don't
I
really.
think this is a good, how it ended. I think is such a perfect way for his character to leave the show. Like he finally he's like, I'm gonna, you know, have my dad arrested. Period.
Mhm.
Finally did something good. He can go now. I don't want to see
Yeah.
any more of him, but I know we're going to.
Or like, I
If
want to see like more again. Like, I just want to see more of these people's home lives at this point.
I think
Like,
if
I want to
anything,
see
what
his
we're gonna
relationship with his mom a little bit more. I thought that was really
oh
interesting.
his mom is oh my god that
And I
scene.
want him to get really to the root of his trauma, I guess.
Do you think we will get to see Nate exploring his sexuality ever in the show?
I think it depends on if Jacob Elordi wants to.
That's what I was thinking. But
Um,
I don't want him to get like the Kurofsky treatment from Glee, where he was like this like horrible person, then all of a sudden he's the love interest because now he's good. Because I think
yeah.
that's a really toxic.
I don't think they would do that in this show. I feel like
You're underestimating them because I definitely see that happening. I hope not. I really, really hope not, but I see it happening. I just don't want Nate to get a redemption arc. I really don't. I think other characters need it more than he
I don't
does.
think he needs like a full redemption arc, but like I think we do need to see him change. And I don't know if that has to be a redemption arc.
Okay, that's
If
fair.
that makes any, I don't know how to
No, it
like.
does. It does.
Okay,
And I don't know. I
leave
just
Maddie and Cassie alone. Just fucking leave them
Matthew,
alone, bitch. I do kind
go
of
to
want to see him
therapy.
talk to Jules a little bit more. Sorry, that might be a toxic statement, but I do kind of want to
Yeah,
see
I
that.
don't know about that. But also, I hear that the actress fight,
But
so who knows if we'll
Jules,
get that.
I would. Jules would. Because she's definitely someone that loves closure. And you could
Yeah,
tell she was like fucking shooken up when Rue just like kissed her forehead and like she
yeah,
was like shook by that because she did not expect it. And
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like she's a very much a person that like is, I mean, she's still in the middle of her growth as well. So I think it
yeah.
could be like a chaotic moment for her. I don't love it for happen, but I think it could be interesting.
Period.
Anyways,
I think that's everyone. I think we covered our
yeah.
bases. Um,
I think we did it relatively respectfully too.
hope so.
Like I'm not I like I'm watching you listen back and I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like literally the day after we record it, I'm like, why did I say that?
Yeah. I don't
Why
think
did
we
I say
said it.
that?
I honestly really don't think we said anything super out of pocket because but
No,
also
I don't
I
think
think
so either.
I'm comparing it to like all the shit I've seen on TikTok, which is like extremely
Oh,
out of pocket like 98% of the time.
compared to the TikTok theories, we are so tame.
Yeah. And I think what we said was relatively mature. I mean,
I
we do
hope
love a
so.
little toxicity here and there because it's a fucking TV show, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I do think this show is very important and it does have a really big reach. And I do think, even though maybe season two people didn't love very much, I think people are still very invested in these characters. And maybe, I mean, I don't know. I think we could just use a little bit more structure and a little less like, I mean, I love the creativity that the show brings
Yeah.
because I do think that's very different, but I do think they're like, I guess like the beginning of season two and the last half of season two feel very different, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. They feel
Like I
different.
do love the portraits. I love the portraits. I love the snapshotting of the moment, like having that creative aspect of it.
Mhm.
But I think maybe the plot line just got too hectic at the end and we kind of lost sight of like that initial like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a level up of like creativity. I don't
Mhm.
know. I
No,
don't
I
know
get
how
what
to
you're saying.
explain
It's
it.
because I think it's because with HBO he has more resources and he has full
And
creative control.
A24. It's HBO and
Yeah,
A24.
yeah,
Like you
yeah.
got two of like the like two people or two companies in the industry that like are will take risks and chances on things that aren't on the
Yeah.
beaten path. And like I do think maybe that was very attractive to Sam Levinson in this season and maybe he just had too many ideas and he couldn't place them correctly.
Yeah, I would love if he maybe, and it doesn't even need to be like I don't think he needs to give up any creative control, but I
Hmm.
maybe like a little writer's room that's like it doesn't he can still make the final decision, it's still his show, but maybe someone's that's like, "Oh, what about this? Did we forget about this?" Or like, "How
Yeah.
about," or
Yeah,
maybe
because
have
right
someone
now
else do the
there is no
plot.
writer's room at all.
No, it's just him. It's
Yeah.
just him and a computer.
And I do think that is hard. And I
Yeah.
do respect that like it is his quote unquote his story and like he is pulling from a lot of like his own experiences and stuff, but and I think he could still have like really big judgment over Rue's storyline, but I
Yeah.
do think he could, and also the fact that McKay just doesn't exist in this season. I feel like that was a
Yeah.
really big misstep and
Yeah.
something that could have been really impactful, and I do think maybe, and especially with Kat, like maybe he just doesn't know what to say about these characters because he isn't
Mhm.
a black man. He's not a plus size woman, and maybe he
Yeah.
hasn't interacted with those people before. And I
Yeah.
do think he could benefit from at least having like longer form conversations with these
Yeah.
people to like, because it's I mean it's helpful to have inspiration. And for Rue,
Yeah.
his inspiration is himself, and that's why Rue's character is so good.
Yeah. I just think it wouldn't hurt at all. I think it would
Yeah,
only benefit to have
yeah,
a little bit more help. And it's like,
mhm.
I don't know. I feel like it must be so stressful to have, like, I genuinely
Yeah,
don't see
like
any negatives to having a little bit more help on the writing side.
yeah. And I'm sure it's a lot of weight on his shoulders. It's like one
Oh,
of the most
absolutely.
successful shows right now.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm sure it's a lot of pressure and then having to make every single decision, like it makes sense why it's so chaotic, I guess, from
Yeah.
what we've heard. And I mean,
Well, we
it
can see it on
sucks
screen too.
because there is sort of like a level of professionalism, especially when you have so much money invested into it and so many people invested in it.
Yeah.
But I think it is hard for sometimes creative people to relinquish control.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
100%. I know from
Yeah.
experience.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like
Me
it's
too.
hard.
Yeah.
Um,
I get that.
but it's just something. Maybe
We'll
he'll
see.
have the same revelation I had when doing all that glitters.
Oh God, I hope so, because he should have had that realization a long time ago. But um, yeah, I guess we'll circle back to you guys 2 years later.
I hope it's
When
sooner than that. Like,
I don't think it will be. It's not gonna be, and I think we should
I
make
hate
peace with
waiting
it.
this long.
You'll forget about it in like 3 months, and then when it comes back, you'll be like, "Oh, Euphoria." That's what always happens.
But it's like my favorite show right now.
It took give it a month, and it will not be your favorite show. You'll find something else to obsess over. That's how it always works for me. That's my cycle. That's my
Yeah.
cycle of hyperfixations. So,
Yeah. Okay. I think
anyways,
we did good.
I think we did good too, guys. Let us know if we did good.
Especially with not having an outline. I think we did pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well, we wanted to really give it the Sam Levinson experience and not have a structure for this. So,
I
no hate
still
Sam
I
Levinson.
still am a fan of Sam Levinson.
Yeah,
I
me
feel like
too.
he probably thinks everybody fucking hates him right now.
No,
Honestly.
I'm sure some people do, but I not here in our Hollywood.
Hmm.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Follow us on our Instagram at r.hollywood. Follow us on our TikTok at our Hollywood. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And I think you could do it on Spotify now too. I don't know.
Hmm.
Do that. And subscribe to our YouTube. Also our Hollywood. But yeah, we'll see you next week.